Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dyer Consequences. I'm Claire Dyer, and you are watching Unprecedented TV. And we're starting to get the hang of it, or I'm starting to get the hang of it. So today we are going to be revisiting a current issue that myself and Lembert actually discussed a couple of weeks ago on this show, and it's the concerns surrounding the housing of the undocumented migrants in hotels, often going through with no consultation with the communities affected. The impact that this has had on residents, particularly children, with many reports up and down the country they're just flooding in. So many reports of antisocial behaviour, and really the most alarmingly are allegations of serious incidents, including sexual assault of children. I'm going to be speaking to a mother who has been at the forefront of the protests in her area. She and others have raised some really serious concerns about the breakdown of community safety. And this is something that isn't being highlighted. It's all too easy to be throwing the far right racist label out there. But the reason that these local people have stood up is because they are truly scared about what is happening to their children, and why shouldn't they be? So I want to welcome to the show Sophie, whose identity we will obviously keep hidden due to the fact that some locals have actually had threats made against them just for speaking out. So thank you, Sophie, for being brave enough to come on and speak about, obviously what's going on up and down the country, but mainly what's going on in your area currently.
Yeah, it's shocking, absolutely shocking. So my story is back in May, children it started off as one child being recorded and filmed over a playing fields in a park. Another mum see what had happened because she was over the park with her children. She pulled the child to a side and got the child to ring their mum to come and pick them up. She put it on Facebook, and all at the same time I was coming down the road because it was actually VE Day, and I'd come out of one of the local conservative clubs. And I said, what's happened? Because I see her worried coming out of the park. And she told me what had happened. So I said, put it onto Facebook. And from that, I will pick it up. And we'll have to try and get like a neighbourhood watch together, because of the crime that's gone up within our local community anyway, which to me is, if everyone can watch out like it used to be, everyone sort of watched out for each other if anything was going wrong. She went, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. So from that, we put it out on Facebook. Within a week to 10 days, more children were being stalked over a park. We then within the Facebook page, we contacted the councillors asking for them to come together to help, to start up a neighbourhood watch, because you have to get registered. So, and if they had any other advice, what we could do as parents. And we got no information. They didn't want to help. It's quite shocking, really.
Yeah, so just to clarify for people, you started having issues in your community and had major concerns for your children going back to May. Now, obviously, the protest that started outside the Bell Hotel was 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we're talking beginning of July. So in the meantime, you as local residents have tried to do everything right. You didn't go straight to protesting. You tried to create a community neighbourhood watch to essentially look after your own children. You did the right thing, reaching out to your councillors, and they literally just turned a blind eye, ignored it.
Turned a blind eye, because you don't know if they're local. You don't know if they're housed.
So you
we didn't know. We didn't, because it was at random times. So we didn't know if that man was local. We didn't know. Obviously, we contacted them, obviously, because you want to do the right things. Because why would you want to go in full steam ahead when you don't know them?
Right, we have a picture up, and it's actually the picture that's of the man filming what looks like through bushes. Now, tell me what that actually is, what that picture
That's a
is.
primary school.
Right.
And he was filming children, primary school age, on the playground.
Right. And what happened as a result of that? Did I hear that one actually entered the school grounds?
Apparently so. I don't know for definitely, because obviously it wasn't my child's school. I got told by a couple of the mums where my children go to clubs that a dad had to tackle him to the floor. Obviously, because I wasn't there, I can't sort of make an opinions and say X, Y, and Z happened. But the man that you had up was also recording children in secondary school. He was trying to approach them. He was seen with a secondary school tie on, as you can see in the picture. He's not a secondary school age.
No, definitely not.
And he was also caught on a number of occasions exposing himself in the parks. So from that we then because we weren't having no luck with the councillors, we contacted the MP for Epping. He come back with a really sorry excuse of a response. And from that letter there was no advice, there was nothing. And that took 2 weeks to get a response. And from that, other things have happened. And what our children, you can't let them out of your sight anymore. Where before, like I used to go to work slightly like earlier than the school times. I started letting my children walk to school. I can't do that now. So it has a massive impact. Impact.
Do you even feel that your children are even safe in school after?
No, don't, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. And
what have this specific school, done about this?
That I'm not 100% sure, because obviously I don't go to that school. Parents have said that it's all been hush. They're not really allowed to talk about it. The parents aren't allowed into the school grounds anymore to take their children to the classroom door or the main door. They have to drop them at the main gate, and then the teachers take them in from there, which is really bad. It's you're living on eggshells, because you don't know. You've become to look over your shoulder all the time.
Would you say it was like this, before, a year, 2 years ago?
No, I've lived in this area for nearly 8 years, and I've never felt like this. Never.
So what was it that actually sparked the protesting off in the end? Because I'm guessing a lot of the locals have exhausted all avenues and feel that their concerns have just been completely ignored.
Yeah, because people have reached out to the people that are supposed to be safeguarding you, i.e. your councillors, and then the hierarchy is your MP. When you're not getting no help, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And if it's happening to more and more people, are you supposed to sit and take it? I wouldn't. It's your children at the end of the day. Any parent or right-minded person is going to stick and look after their kid. It's you protect. To me, it's a natural thing, especially for a mother.
Yeah, so I understand, obviously, a child did actually get raped and another was sexually assaulted.
Yeah, which nobody knew about.
How did nobody know about it? Did that get...
Because it wasn't, again, it wasn't put out for people to know. If you go through the neighbourhood crimes because I had to end up joining the UK neighbourhood crime to get the statistics and stuff. It wasn't in there. It's not on there. It's nothing about sexual attacks or things like that is put out there. It's only like car theft, drug taking, nothing about sexual.
Why do you think that statistic's not been put up?
Maybe because there's too many. It's more than knife crime now.
Right. So
maybe I can't say that for definite because I haven't seen compared them both. But the way that everything is gone now is definitely, and you're hearing it more and more because we have social media now. It's a drop of a hat. So as soon as something happens, you find out about it.
Yeah. So do you feel that really, as residents, your councillors have just shut you down, your MP shut you down?
Yeah. Because if these MPs and councillors, they're only coming out because of the people arising and standing up for the wrong that's being done.
Because I hear that Kemi came to one of the meetings recently.
Well, Kemi, when it first happened back in May, when I contacted the MP, I wrote to Kemi with my MP, and I only didn't get no response from Kemi, and that was in May, and now she's standing now and talking about it.
Why do you think that is now? Why do you think she's talking about this
because
now?
People are having a voice. People are upset. People are angry because.
So tell me, sorry, I know you can't see, obviously, but we've got the letter on the email on the screen that you sent to, obviously, Dr. Hudson, which is your local MP, isn't it? Miss Kemi Badenoch. Talk me through that email. I'll read some of it out because I know you can't see it. It says, please could you advise on the migrants housed in hotels stalking and following young children? Mr. Huston, as you are our MP for Epping, you would know Waltham Abbey. We had, and now again, migrants living in hotels called Holt Whites and the Marriott. Over the past 2 weeks, young children have been stalked and then followed in playing fields and playgrounds. Thank God there have been adults who have noticed and stepped in. Going forward, local parents who are very concerned want to start a neighbourhood watch, and anything else we can do. We've asked through Facebook, local councillors, and obviously that's why you're contacting them, as you believe as an MP he should be involved and support this issue and do not want another child to fall victim. And what you're saying is that Kemi Badenoch completely ignored it. And what was the reply that you got from Dr. Hudson, your MP?
Just talking about statistics and what Labour have done.
What did he say later?
And if we've got concerns, contact the police. Where's the safeguarding? Where's his safeguarding for Epping? Where was his sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so complete dismissal, really, and sideline it. Yeah, that's shocking. Because obviously it's something that he should be addressing. So I would hazard a guess, I'd have the opinion based on that he obviously doesn't care about the welfare of the children that are in this particular community that he's supposed to be serving.
No, he doesn't. He does. Well, if he says he does, but if he does, then why hasn't he spoken up when the first letter? Why hasn't he spoken up when the second letter came? Yeah, that's not. I sent him one letter, but I know of other people that have sent him letters raising their concerns. But
yeah, I have got his reply. We've got his reply up on the screen. People will be able to obviously.
Yeah, and you can see for yourself.
Very small print. Very small print. The Home Office has advised on the safety and security. So basically, you're saying it's just all the usual jargon. I would try and read some of it out, but unfortunately, it's quite blurred and very small, so I'm struggling to read it. But
there's no help. There's no offering support. Or yes, let's get a meeting together. Parents can raise their concerns. There's nothing there. It's absolutely shocking.
So it
As
seems,
an MP who is actually getting paid by the people
yeah,
of Epping to be representing them, to be safeguarding, to doing the job, and they're not doing it.
it does seem the general consensus from a lot of people in many areas, because obviously it's not just your area, this is up and down the country,
No.
that there's silence. They don't want to know. They don't want to address it. They're covering it up for whatever reason. And therefore, the people like yourselves left in these communities who are watching and seeing the antisocial behaviour, as you said, children being followed, stalked, approached, even those, and I'm hearing across the board, to be honest, that pretty much in almost every area, there has been at least one case of a sexual assault on a child, and you're being dismissed as
But
parents.
how many parents have written to their MPs and to their councillors asking for help? How many? We don't know, because everyone's been told to be quiet or dismissed.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is why you have a lot to say. You want to air what you've got to say, yet you're hiding your identity because you're scared of the backlash for speaking out and being concerned about your children. That's not right. You shouldn't have to do that.
No.
And yet here you are, and you're not the first. I mean, I tried for 2.5 weeks for a parent to come and speak to me, and no one would, because they were too scared. Some have been threatened, some had obviously, they've been silenced. Why? So sorry.
But and I was just going to say about the police, because I contacted the police, and do you know what? They were actually really, really good. The ones that I spoke to, they said what we are trying to do is actually really good. Is like trying to get a neighbourhood watch. We had a crime reference number. So I'd say to anyone out there who's listening, if something has happened, you've been given a crime reference number. Every time something happens, use that crime reference number, because the more times you use that crime reference number, you're building a case.
We've just got a close-up of the bottom half of the letter, so I can actually read it now, because it says, the Home Office have advised me that the safety and security of local communities, staff and those accommodated at hotels is of the utmost importance, and security staff are on site at each hotel on a 24/7 basis. Yeah, I hear you laughing. Accommodation providers are experienced and have robust policies and procedures in place around health and safety, security, safeguarding, and critical incident management. Security arrangements are kept under continual review and can be adapted at pace if required. If accommodation providers have reasonable grounds to suspect that the health, safety, security, or well-being of members of the community, staff, or asylum seekers are at risk, they are obliged to take appropriate action, including contacting the police, ambulance, or local authority services. Do you know what I hear? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I hear there.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing any of that.
No.
They're not doing
But
any of that.
What I don't understand is, if they're undocumented, how are they allowed to freely walk about when they are not?
Right.
When no one knows they've come from wherever. Have they, like, what, we had COVID, everything was like complete lockdown, we weren't allowed to move. Like, how were they allowed to move? Have they been what's the word, medically checked for what they've carried? If they're carrying anything like diseases or illnesses or anything like that, we don't hear of that. Are they being checked? Are they carrying anything? We don't know. And how are they allowed to walk freely?
Yeah. Well, what I can tell you is that the Home Office will, and these hotels will claim that they're not obviously allowed to leave and they're checked, etc. But I know for absolute fact, when we had an illegal immigrant wander from a North London hotel all the way south down
but
to...
if that's, sorry to interrupt, but there was a sexual attack up there yesterday. And they was all walking through from Epping. there was another attack, a sexual attack yesterday from the Bell Hotel
In Epping.
in Epping.
What
So,
happened?
and there is a film, someone's put it out on YouTube or X or whatever. That
Sophie, your sound has gone.
oh, can you hear me now?
I am going to stop you because we are actually going to go to a break.
Oh, right, okay.
To a break, and then we'll come back. I think we're back. Are you there?
Yep, I'm there.
I can hear you again. Right. Okay. So you were saying that there was another sexual assault last night in Epping,
Yep.
Near the Bell Hotel.
Yep.
And was this of a child or?
That I can't guarantee that was of a child, but I believe they were quite young.
What happened? Do you know?
Not the full extent of it. Yeah, so I really shouldn't be commenting on that because I don't know the full facts. But yeah, in the video, if you see it, the filming, you'll see them walking up and down, back to there with their full loads of shopping. I, like you just said before the break, if they aren't supposed to be out, how are they out? Why is the security letting them out if they're supposed to be staying in?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, are the security in with them? Are they all friends? It makes you question everything.
So obviously this is recorded live and it is available as live. So we've got a picture up now of them outside the hotel, putting their fingers up to people.
Yeah. And apparently one of them exposed himself, the one that attacked. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing this is a regular occurrence.
Yeah. So this is the reason why we can't feel safe, because they're walking. If they're not housed and they're not made to stay in that one place, they're freely walking down to the high street and doing like whatever.
Yeah.
They're not being followed by security and making sure they're behaving and whatever. They're free to go where they like.
Well, what I was saying before was that we had one wander from a North London hotel down to, we are the furthest south village of Greater London, and we knew he wasn't local and had been hanging around for a few days, and I actually did go and speak to him myself. He wasn't of sound mind. He didn't really speak English, and we did have to call the police and an ambulance for him because we were actually concerned about his welfare. I would say there was an element of antisocial behaviour. The residents were aware that there was something not right. Anyway, it turns out that through the police obviously searching him and speaking to him, he was from a North London hotel. They were aware that he had left some 4 or 5 days earlier, and according to them and the Home Office is that they cannot stop them from leaving. So if they choose to leave and never return to that hotel,
but why is that?
there is no tracking of them, and they will claim different. if you speak to the police, if you speak to councils, they will say, no, they have to report in. We know that for a fact that's not the case. He was free to go wherever he wanted, or over the entire country, with and no one would ever be able to trace him. And in that instant, I thought, how many are there of like him out there that have no idea where they are?
But we are abiding by citizens. We pay our tax. We go to work. We abide by the laws that are set out, and we have to look over our shoulders by people that have come over, and they're not respecting us.
So you now no longer, even yourself, feel safe in your own.
No, I don't even feel safe in my home, really, because you don't know who's coming. Because it's a quiet little village, and we don't have street lights. The street lights get turned off at a certain time, so it's in darkness. We don't have like the bus services like a town has. So our buses run every so often, once every hour. Some on the weekends they don't run at all. So our service is if you need to get somewhere, you have to drive. Shops are shut, most of them, well, apart from Tesco's, by 10 o'clock, really. And
where I live, exactly the same. And lots of little lanes, lots of wooded areas, lots of little alleyways. I understand, because I feel the same now where I live, and I don't actually have obviously a hotel on my doorstep, but the area is changing. So I'm guessing with all of this, with having even just to change the way in which you live your lives, not feeling safe for your children, and they're being ignored by your council.
They can feel it. They can feel it. They can feel it.
And I'm guessing that the last straw was when a child was actually raped. That's when the people took to the streets.
Yeah. And any sound person would have done exactly like we've done before. And if you would have read in my email, before a child falls victim, like is in what we've heard before.
And then, of course, a child has fallen victim, and
the councillors haven't stepped in, the MP hasn't stepped in to help before it all, something seriously happened.
And then obviously you as a parent, like all the others, across the country, actually, because you are just one voice, but you're actually saying and feeling what so many parents, grandparents, aunts, cousins, uncles are feeling across the country now, because this is happening across the country, that we're not being listened to. Enough is enough. We're frustrated. What else can we do other than now go and protest outside these hotels?
Yeah.
And
but we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to. We're a law-abiding citizens. We go to work, we live, we eat, we've got a home, we respect everything, we say please and thank you. And you just got these men, and they're fully grown men are coming in, and they're just like they're rampaging. I'm sorry to say it like that, and I don't want to be like that, because of we tried before anything seriously happened. And now, to me, it's on the councillors, on every councillor across the country. It's on every MP's head across the country. It's their fault, before past and present. It's on everybody's. It's on their heads. They're the ones that are in the job. They wanted to be there, right, and getting paid by the people.
Yeah,
and they're not doing their job. They're not.
Do you feel that they're kind of in a way condoning what is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, I know how I would feel.
What are we supposed to let our kids be sitting ducks?
Yeah.
Are we supposed? Is that what they're asking? I'd like to know.
And I've said before that anyone who thinks that it's out of order for somebody to feel outraged by the rape of children,
they can't have children, and they can't be of sound mind, unless that they probably think in there. I would say anyone that allows this to happen and doesn't want to stand up with the mums or any, again, for these children,
Mm.
then I would say they have sick minds. They've got something wrong
Yeah.
in their heads.
What would you say about the labeling of being, far right racist?
I got called it by a counsellor.
Yeah. What would you say about that?
Well, I actually said, if I'm so far right, why would I have asked for your help at the beginning before
Mm.
two people got sexually assaulted?
And
Why would I? Why if I was that far right and that's what you're thinking I am, why would I have not have contacted? And it went through Facebook. Everyone got asked to come in to ask for it to set up a meeting. We have a town council. Can you open them doors so we can come in and raise our concerns? That didn't happen, so that's why we contacted the MP. If I'm so far right, why would I have done that first?
And to reiterate, these hotels have been housing illegals for how long now?
Well, these are the second, well, say the second lot. So it got closed and then it got reopened.
But
And then,
the Bell has been housing for 5 years.
yeah.
And I think till now, we've not heard of the locals outside protesting and demonstrating.
No. Yeah, you haven't. Everyone's sort of been quiet, shut their mouths, tolerated.
Yeah.
And it's in our law to be tolerant to other people.
Yeah.
And we have been.
We are
We
actually,
have been.
yeah, we are actually showing a video now of obviously them arriving on the boats and also in different countries, where they're fleeing to. One of the things that I question is, why are the majority actually, of fighting age men? I don't like to use the term fighting age men, but
But
primarily,
they are. Where are the children? Where are the women? Why?
yes,
You look at the Ukrainians. The men stayed and they sent their women back over to whatever country would take them to be safe, and their children first, then the women.
yeah,
Why are they not? Why are they not? If they're in war-torn countries, why are they not staying put? Why are they not fighting? And I'd also say that why are the people who are living here? Why are they not rising up? Is in condemning what they're actually doing.
Do you think, yeah, do you
There's more
think,
to it.
yeah, do you think the label is to silence everybody?
Yeah, it's just it's trying to put it's to put a label on you and then to make you feel intimidated, and it's wrong. It's why should you be labelled? Why should you be labelled that? Why? I would like to know why it to say that what's right and wrong to be labelled and to not agree with how they think
Yeah.
is to be labelled. You are right. Is in you're wrong and you're racist. You're trans, whatever it is. Well, you're not.
Yeah. You say there's more to it. What do you think that is?
I personally believe, and that they're over here to do more than what is actually going to be happening now. I personally think there's an agenda.
Yeah, I would agree with you that I would say
I don't want to start going down a rabbit hole, but I would say there's more to it, and it's bad to say that, and to feel like that and to say it out loud is upsetting, because you grew up in a sort of a free world, a free country where we could be kids, we could play. You got told off by the next door neighbour or whatever for being wrong. You learn by your mistakes. Where now the world, the country is not like that anymore. The country is not like that.
If there was a solution, I mean, what kind of solution do you think that there would be? It's a difficult one.
Something radical really needs to happen. Personally, I think they all need to go. Anyone for the last 20 years that needs to be gone. And if they want to come back, then they needs to go through the right channels with their documents. Why are people throwing their documents? Why do you not want to be known? Why
We're currently
would
got
you not want to come through the right way? It might take you longer, but if you want to come to a stable country and you want to be abiding by a citizen, why are you not coming through the right channels?
Yeah, we've currently got Keir Starmer up on the screen. And what I would say is, I mean, I'm not a political person, but what I would say is if ever we needed someone in 10 Downing Street, it's somebody that actually cares generally about people and not their own self-interest.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, whatever.
It's
Labour's is it?
Look, them little girls last year, right? That's all you got to think about. Them little girls and what they were. Every single one of them that was in that room. Every single one of them. I'm not talking about the ones that died. I'm talking about every single one of them and what they went through. That is life-changing moments. They get older, they're still going to have them dreams.
Yeah.
And see what was going on. Why should a child be put through that?
Yeah, I think if we have a government that isn't prepared to do an inquiry into the grooming rape gangs.
Oh yeah, that's just
it tells us everything that we need to know, doesn't it?
But yeah, to any child, it doesn't matter what colour, creed, whatever. If you've done something to a child, then I'm sorry, you should be locked away for life.
Because we are kind of at the end now, but that made me lose my train of thought there.
Sorry.
It's fine. But what I was going to say was that what a lot of counter people will say is that why are we not going after white rapists? My answer to that, and it's hard to be heard, is yes, we know we have our homegrown issues. We know we already have them in our country.
Yeah.
No one's denying that. Personally, I think a lot of them are in our councils. I had this argument with somebody and I said, we should be going after all of them. Our councillors, our MPs, whatever Labour Party, those in the BBC, all of them. We're not condoning one group over another, but the simple fact is we have enough of them in our own country that we don't need to take anymore, especially those, unfortunately, these men, and it is primarily men, they have a totally different culture around women and children to what we have. And when they come here, unfortunately, they're not prepared to fit in with our ways and respect towards women and children. So we don't need to import more of a problem than we've already.
It's the same, right? With the Savile case. It's the same with the Savile case, right? We never got to the bottom of what actually happened and who was responsible. BBC was linked right into it. Who else was linked into it? Those people haven't been charged and prosecuted, not the full extent, and their names dragged through the mud. But our names, who are the so-called far right, just want to protect our children. Why should we?
Yeah.
It's society is wrong. And then why would you, if you've got your own problems of, I'd say, the white people or even the black people that have been living here for donkey's years, we need to get our own house in order first before you import more.
100%.
You need to get rid of all these rapists, paedophilia people, right? Because it's out of control. Of control.
Well, we have actually run out of time. We have just put
no.
I know, I'm sorry. I mean, you can, especially women, we could talk forever.
I know. I put the world to rights.
We have just put the picture back up again of that man. And then just to reiterate, this isn't illegal. He's filming through the fence of a primary school. This has been a regular occurrence. I want to thank you for coming on. I think it's very clear, Sophie, what you have said, that for many, many months, you all tried to be very reasonable and fair and tried to do the right thing, and it fell on deaf ears until it got to the point where a child was raped, another one was sexually assaulted, and yours is not the only story by far. And the fact is, people have had enough. They're not far right racists. They've had enough. They want to feel safe in their communities. So thank you for coming on. And we could have talked about that forever. I mean, it's very a top subject at the moment. Part of me will question why mainstream media all of a sudden is so interested in it, because this is something that has been going on for 5 years, that was kept very, very quiet for a long time, and now they're happy to jump on it. But that will be another subject. So yeah, I would say with such mainstream media coverage, it's clear that this isn't just a local issue, it's a national policy failure, but I would also say it's a global one. It's clear decisions are being made behind closed doors, and everyday families are left to deal with the consequences, as Sophie has pointed out, like devastating consequences, and those that some of these children and even women are going to live with for the rest of their lives. Why is our government allowing unchecked mass immigration when we can't even house our own homeless, our veterans, our vulnerable families? Why are serious allegations, including the assault of children, being brushed aside, hidden, or denied? And why is there silence on this, really, from mainstream media, the other side? And most troubling, why are concerned parents simply for asking for answers, protection, being treated like criminals, racists, or extremists? When does speaking out about public safety become something to be punished? A healthy democracy doesn't fear questions, it answers them. It doesn't silence, it listens. It's not about hate. It's about responsibility, transparency, and the right for every child, regardless of politics, to grow up safe. It seems that our government have forgotten this, or they simply don't care, or maybe it's part of a much bigger agenda, and we are just currently right now playing into their hands. Whatever it is, it's one of those. But the current situation is not a good situation, and I really feel that tempers are going to explode. Thank you to Sophie for being brave to come on and speak out about this subject, which is obviously national news. I'm Claire Dyer. You've been watching Dyer Consequences here on Unprecedented TV. Please tune in, where we will have those people whose voices are silenced. Thank you.